Testing. Hello, hello, welcome. Hello. Yep, here we are. We're live. Just wanted to hang out a bit today and answer some questions if there are any. If there are no questions, then we will just cry. Maybe I'll read a book a little bit. That's what we're up to today. We're going to do a live Q&A. Hello, welcome. What's going on? Let me fix my little chat filter here. Hey, Dennis, what's good? Yeah, we're doing some live Q&A today, just hanging out. Gonna answer some questions regarding any topic and that is spoken about. Yeah, I just had my smoothie. Just had my blueberry smoothie. Might have to. Hmm. I actually only speak one language, which is English. I learned a little bit of French in school, but I don't speak French very well. I can sort of like half not really understand it, not really, like a little bit. I learned up to a grade 9 level in French because I'm from Canada. I understand Italian a little bit, uh, but yeah, just English for me. What's going on, everyone? You guys are all here. You guys are nuts. What are you guys up to today? It's really hot outside today, man. It's hot and humid, and I kind of like it. Yep, answering any question of any kind. Maybe I'll read from a book to entertain myself, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just sit here. I think that's what I'll do. All right, good idea. Sure thing. What was I reading? So I was gonna read like Brain Saver. It's a medical medium book. Um, this is pretty dense though, so maybe I'll just read some short poems from. Maybe I'll just read some short poems. I think that'll be a good one. I got Marcus Aurelius. I got Ryokan. Let's see what we got. Yeah. I got Marcus Aurelius here, and I got Ryokan. I think we'll do Ryokan. It's Zen poetry. Okay, here's one. Shaggy hair past the ears, a worn out robe resembling white clouds and dark smoke. Half drunk, half sober, I return home. Children all around, guiding me along the way. That's a nice one. Fresh morning snow in front of the shrine. The trees, are they white with peach blossoms or white with snow? The children and I joyfully throw snowballs. That's a nice one. Yeah, I'll just chat a little bit about I've been processing some stuff. I've been thinking a lot about like how to monetize my work here. And I kind of realized that I should stop thinking about that and just not worry about that, basically. Actually, maybe a year ago, I was on a meditation retreat, which I want to do more of. I'm gonna go for a meditation retreat soon, probably next month. I was on a meditation retreat and I was staying in this cabin in the woods, and I was working with my teachers. It was really amazing. And I find whenever I go on retreat, I get super clear, like really clear, like very, very clear about like who I am, what I want, what's going on, like what is reality, like what's the point of being alive, just like everything crystal clear, like I know exactly what I want, what I'm doing, what I stand for, what I want to say and everything. It's the best thing ever. And this was last year. I had a very clear insight because if you don't know me, I sort of spend a lot of time just kind of like, yeah, we'll talk about my life path. We're gonna get there. I'm taking the roundabout way. Uh, so on this retreat, like if you don't know me, I waste like too much energy thinking about like how to monetize my gifts because I have basically massive quantities of knowledge. Like I could have started a dating business by now. I could have made, tons of money doing dating coaching. I could have done diet coaching, could do meditation, could just like personal development. And I've done that to a certain degree, but it's like I I want to find a way to monetize that feels right. Like for the last little while, I've been doing just like one-on-one coaching, and that's fine. But it just feels weird that one person pays me like 5 grand, and then I just like only work with them, you know. And I have all this like info and wisdom and stuff, and it just feels like my energy split, and it just like yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna make multiple channels. I can barely handle one right now. I'll probably just put them all in the same channel. So I sort of had this idea like, okay, so I'll make courses and stuff, right? So I'm gonna like put information into a course and sell that, right? So I've just been sort of humming and hawing on this thing for like years, basically. I've tried different things. I've launched paid courses. I've made, a few $1,000s with that. I've made most of my money just with like one-on-one coaching, but even that's just getting a little bit odd. It feels a little bit, I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll do that a bit more. But anyways, I had this insight while I was on meditation retreat to like just stop thinking about that and just kind of give everything away for free. Like all the information, all information, teachings, coaching, group calls, whatever, just give it all away for free and then just take payment by donation. So like if someone, it's like pay what you can sort of thing. If you like what I'm doing, you want to pitch $5 or $10 or whatever, you can, right? So this is very scary for me to think about. Hey, Quantum, welcome. Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm just kind of yapping about myself a little bit. Maybe my reflection will help you guys a little bit. So yeah, I got this huge insight. Like I realized because one of the things I've been struggling with is I am basically like a monk. I don't know how to describe this, but like I like the type of person I am is like my heart and soul, really the only thing I want to do is to meditate by myself, and then to come back and share all the wisdom for free. That's basically what I want to do. I don't want to charge it. I don't want to charge for it. I don't want to, charge 5 grand, or 10 grand for coaching because not everyone wants to pay that. I don't think I even want to pay that, for coaching. I've paid that before and I don't know if I even feel that good about it, to be honest. Uh, so my heart's basically telling me to just like go meditate for like 3 months of the year. So I was reading. Yeah, we'll talk about the numerology. I'm actually an 11, by the way. My life path is an 11th. Sorry, I didn't know you were talking about numerology. I'm an 11 in numerology. Um, yeah, so I was just kind of studying like what the monks used to do like a long time ago. And basically what they would do is like this is what the Buddha would do too is he would just go meditate by himself for like 3 months out of the year, like during the rainy season. No one was allowed to talk to him or see him because he was meditating. And then for the remainder of the 9 months of the year, he would just teach, basically. Keep meditating, obviously, but he would teach, and he would teach for free. And he would take donation. So it's kind of scary to like think about doing that because, in I've been, conditioned very deeply by Western culture, which is just like I need to start a business, I need to sell a product, right? So for like years I've been thinking about what product do I sell? And I've sold multiple products actually. That's so crazy. Yeah, you could tell money was on my mind. Yeah, there you go. Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Yeah, no, thanks for the what's the word? What's the word? Thanks for the reflection. Thank you. Yeah, like yeah. No, nothing, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing wrong about making money. No problem with making products, selling products. I think it's a great thing. I think it's cool. I think you can add a lot of benefit to society by creating something and selling it. Okay, so business is a vehicle of helping people. And this is the thing is that I actually have the ability to like create a course, launch a course, sell a course. I've done it before. I could do the whole Russell Brunson thing, the whole marketing, email launch, 5 minutes left, you have to buy quickly, the price is going to double sort of thing. I know how to do that. Okay, I've done it before. I'm great at it actually. Okay. It's not actually a lack of know-how. That's the thing is I know how to do it. It's actually the problem is it's out of alignment. So it doesn't like fully land. My number one priority is authenticity and truthfulness. I want to be truthful, right? Because that's the whole point of meditating and of being alive, is I care about what's real. I care about the truth and I care about being real, right? Publicly to help people. So being real with you, I basically just discovered I just had this deep intuition on this retreat like last year. Um, it was like if I just focus 100% on my own growth, my own meditation, and I just sort of show up generously and I just offer everything for free, free community meetings, free meditation classes, free coaching, basically. Obviously, with there's basically that's what they would do. That's what the Buddhas would do. The monks and shit. That's literally what they would do, and they would just it would be a pay what you can sort of thing. So if if you feel inspired or if you feel like it's really helpful, people would pay like to give them food, right? Pay them $20 or whatever they can. It all depends. So it's a little scary for me, right? I'm being very vulnerable here. So I hope you guys are getting some help, or at least I don't know, are kind of learning about this. But yeah, so it's an odd business model. It's not really a business, actually. Yeah, exactly. Spirituality is no cost. Real spirit is free. No, exactly. And my teacher recommended that maybe I do like a sort of trade on the side, like, diet coaching or something. She was like a shiatsu practitioner, so she would offer like an actual like service, right? And then that's how she would get paid. But I just have this feeling like with the internet and stuff and with the ability to like leverage my time, I don't want to, do shiatsu or anything. I just want to talk and teach people. That's kind of like that's what I like to do. So yeah, I figured that I'll just make a simple donation page and just trust God. Trust the generosity and the good wisdom and trust the warmth of the true Dharma will keep me warm and fed. So that's sort of my life path right now. It's really scary. I kind of don't know. A little scared, but I gotta have faith. I think I've been given this intuition so many times, and I gotta just sort of stick with it. So yeah, um, I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do like free classes, and I can just put all my energy into actually creating good things, instead of thinking about how do I package it and launch it and sell it and what's the price. And because the problem is like if I make a course, I just I feel weird because it's like I just want it to be free. Like I don't want to like how do I describe this? Like I just want it to be free and yeah, 11 is the most intuitive and sensitive lonely path. You're really into numerology. I'm a little bit into it, a little bit into it. I have a book about it called Numerology and the Divine Triangle, but I haven't fully read it. But perhaps Edgar Case, what? I didn't know he was in this. Okay, I gotta read this. This is so cool. We're gonna find the life path here. If your personal, what's it called? There's the life lesson. There's the life lesson. It's probably the life lesson, right? Okay, let's see. 11. Altruism and community. You came into a unique testing incarnation. You must practice love thy neighbor as thyself and use it as your foundation. Your strong intuitions are of value in gaining wisdom and inspiration. 11 is one of the most difficult vibrations because the demand for high standards is constant. Yeah. You must learn patience and at the same time be able to make quick decisions. Seek for balance between the material physical life, which has to be considered, and the inspirational spiritual life with which underlies your self-understanding. You can succeed in the field of science because all new inventions and discoveries such as laser rays, research in anti-gravity, or Kirlian photography are any area of electronics would appeal to you. You could choose to be an astronomer or astrologer or a Bible researcher and interpreter. You may become a teacher or writer in the field of philosophy. You are original and creative and could become an inspirational speaker. 11 is an esoteric master number of spiritual import. It bestows courage, power, and talent with strong feelings of leadership. You must not let this power go to your head, since fame and recognition are likely. Instead, realize that true mastership is service. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling, what you're saying. Yeah, the I just kind of want to help heal everyone for free. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna work. I don't know. Because I've been trying everything else and that hasn't been working, like energetically, and it shouldn't feel so forced and difficult. I have this genuine feeling. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I can absolutely read Life Path 3. No problem. So this is the life lesson number. This is numerology and the divine triangle, by the way, for those who are curious. My girlfriend recommended this to me. 3 as the life lesson number. You are best in intellectual, artistic, or creative endeavors. You need to express, to manifest, and to see the results of your work. Beauty, fruitfulness, luxury, and pleasure are your key words. You should have ambition and pride. You must become conscious of the law, and by being an excellent disciplinarian, you will achieve a position of authority over others. 3 combines the daring of 1 with the caution of 2. It is a number of self-expression and freedom, and is extravagant in using energies to gain freedom. You must guard against becoming a jack of all trades. Rather, you should specialize. You could then be successful in artistic, religious, or inventive pursuits. You should never do routine work because you dislike restriction. You should work alone for the best results. Business partnerships become too disciplined for your freedom-loving nature. You could write, lecture, teach, or find your niche in journalism. Whatever you decide to specialize in, you must use your creative and inspirational talents. Awesome. Yeah, was that helpful? Yeah, that's called the life lesson number. That's, I think, the same as the soul path. Does that resonate, eh? Crazy. This stuff is amazing, man. I love astrology. Sorry, this is not astrology. I believe my soul number was 9. Yeah, I have a lot of like 9, 7, and 11. That's sort of what I have. All right, friends. I think I'm going to quickly get some water. I'll be back in like a minute. Okay, so be back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, got some lemon water. Sure, no problem. Hey, tomorrow, what's good? No, this is oh, sparkling water. I don't. That's a good question. Um, I have a feeling that medical medium is not too high on sparkling water, but I could do a quick research for you. Let me open up my see if this works. Does this work? It's not working. There we go. Should be able to see my my face here. Let's try to research this, okay? Medical mediums. I don't actually think I really don't know about this one. Sparkling? I have a feeling it's not like the best for you. Oh, it says right here you can drink sparkling water. Here's a recipe actually. Wild blueberry juice. I don't know if you guys have tried wild blueberry juice. It's fucking amazing. Oh my god, you can get it from the store. It's so good. So there's actually a little drink. There's some lime, sparkling water, and wild blueberry juice. He actually has a recommendation here. Well, clearly not. It was an Amazon page. But yeah, so it looks like sparkling water is okay, but I wouldn't like I would drink it. I would drink like a little bit of it, like as sort of as a treat. I wouldn't like only drink sparkling water for its health benefits. I think it's like a treat sort of thing, and it's okay to have a bit of fizz in your drink. It's fine. Let me return back to my my stream here. How do I? There we go. And does that help? Yeah, you can have a little bit of sparkling water if you want. Stevia. Great question. Um, I don't think he likes stevia too much. Um, Not 100% sure. I'm gonna check. See, this is also one of the benefits of doing everything for free is that there's no pressure to like be an expert. I could just be honest with you guys. Let's here we'll see if we can let me know if you can see my screen. You should be able to here. I don't think he likes stevia too much, but I might be wrong. Ooh, my girlfriend would be very angry at me. I think stevia is essentially an artificial sort of sweetener, even though it says it's natural. Um, I don't think stevia is like really high on the list of like. Let me search this page here. No, I don't know why it popped up. Let me see what Reddit says. Yeah, so so stevia is not like the best thing ever. Like I wouldn't have it. I don't like this is I'm gonna say what I believe medical medium says. It's not the worst thing ever. Um you're not it's not like eggs or dairy. Those are like the main things that will really inhibit your healing. If you have a little bit of stevia in some sort of cookie that doesn't contain any other troublemakers in it, that's not going to kill you. That's fine. But if you're baking, for example, it would be better to just use like maple syrup, honey, or coconut sugar, like instead of stevia. So this is what this person here recommends: maple syrup, date sugar, coconut sugar, raw honey are better sweeteners. But if you have something that you're eating that has stevia in it, I wouldn't get too worried about that, especially if you're doing all your other stuff like celery juice and lemon water, heavy metal detox, lots of fruits, leafy greens, and that kind of stuff. If you have a little bit of stevia here or there, that's not the worst, but I don't think he recommends it highly. Probably better having like maple syrup, date sugar. Hey, Akram, what's good? Is that helpful? So it's okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. But I wouldn't be eating it like every single day. Uh, hmm Love that we got the medical medium questions in here. It makes me so happy. It's really powerful stuff. Oh, yeah, helpful. Thanks. I don't have the book right now. Waiting to get it at the library. Trying to heal. Is there something specific that you're? Is there a specific condition that you have? Maybe we can go a little deeper. We can look because I have all the books, so maybe I can read out loud for you. What if we did? Oh, that doesn't work. That kind of works. What if we did two faces? How's that? Double faces. Hey Tamara, is there a specific condition that you don't mind sharing? I could talk about it. I could read it from the book and give some more specific info. Maybe there's other people who could benefit from that. If you want, you don't have to. If you don't want to share, that's fine. Mm. Gut issues, belching and bloat. Got it. All right. We'll talk about that. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I think that's kind of similar. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. It's probably best to just read it right from the book. So I got cleanse to heal. I got liver rescue here. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's just see which one it is. I know it's actually related to the liver, so cleansing the liver actually helps the gut a lot. But we'll get there. Bloating, constipation, IBS, chapter 25. I was correct. So I have like a pretty good like general understanding, but I'm not like 100% sure of myself. So okay, so we're gonna read a little bit. Okay, so gut health starts with one of the liver's top roles, producing bile. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It's bile's responsibility, along with hydrochloric acid, made up of a blend of 7 different acids in your stomach's gastric juices, to engulf food to help digest it. Given the ideal support, the fluids work together at full strength and in perfect harmony. When the liver weakens or becomes sluggish in any way, such as when pathogens like Epstein-Barr and poisons like toxic heavy metals come to visit, or when fatty liver develops, it produces lower quality bile at a lower quantity too. This is not a proud moment for your liver. For the liver lobules, quality control is number one. So if the liver is releasing bile that's less than, it is truly a sign that it's burdened. Even when compromised, it's using every reserve it has to produce the strongest bile it can. Still, it's got over 2,000 chemical functions to perform, and some of them, like the immune system support, are more important than bile. Lower levels of less powerful bile means that breaking down food becomes a problem. There's also the adrenaline factor you've seen come up in other chapters. If someone's under a tremendous amount of stress, it can cause the liver's bile production itself to weaken. With adrenaline production always in high gear, the stress hormone can saturate the liver at a rate it can't neutralize, straining its bile function as the organ works on sopping up and storing away the adrenaline to protect the other parts of your body. When this happens repeatedly, the liver can become oversaturated with adrenaline, like someone who prunes up after swimming in the ocean for too long. So the idea, I'm going to just summarize, okay? There's lots of details here in the book Liver Rescue, okay? Such as what's behind bloating. Uh, so we're gonna, well, there's lots of details here. Maybe we'll get into that in a second, but the general idea is that your liver becomes weakened by lots of fat, by toxic viruses, toxic heavy metals, viruses like Epstein-Barr or herpes. They can overburden the liver, and then when the liver's overburdened, it has a tougher time producing bile, which is supposed to help you digest fat and fatty foods, right? Um, when it can't produce this bile as well, or it's producing a lower quality type of bile, then you have trouble digesting food, and that leads to constipation. It leads to bloating, basically. So let's actually we'll talk about what's behind bloating. Okay. By the way, this is information you won't hear from any doctor or any nutritionist anywhere on earth, because this is yeah, ate some contaminated food and then been sick ever since. Feeling a little better with lemon water and HMDS. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. All right, let's try this. When bloating starts to happen, part of bloating is the gut coping with poorly digested food. Another part is that when the liver is unhappy and stagnant to the point of lower bile production, it means that it's also overburdened with toxic materials that are leaching out into the bile. So they end up back in the intestinal tract. Holy fuck. I didn't even think about that. Or they're being excreted from the bottom of the liver, floating down, saturating lymphatic vessels around the colon and absorbing into the colon through its intestinal wall. So some toxic material can leach into the bile that's produced, and then the bile becomes toxic, and then that can get back into your stomach lining and into your intestines and so forth. Yeah, I know. No juicer is tough. If you want to try with the celery juice, I feel like that would be the main thing that would help you, honestly, because it helps to digest and break down a lot of foods. Try if you have a blender, you could and a straining cloth. You can get a straining cloth pretty inexpensive. You might be able to blend the celery and then strain the pulp into like a bowl or a glass and then drink that. I was doing that for like 3 months before I got a juicer. So if you're really looking to cleanse your liver and your stomach and your gut, you can try that option. The blender strategy works pretty well. That's crazy. I didn't know that the toxins could get into the liver's bile and then wow. I wonder if there's a way that we can read this on the screen. Let's try that. Let's try it. Liver rescue PDF. Let's see if this works. See if I can download like an online PDF version maybe. That would be pretty cool if I could. It doesn't look like I can. It's all right. So all of the toxins they end up coating the lining of the small intestine and the colon. They can leach out of the liver, causing more bloating as it hampers any good bacteria that are present and feeds bad bacteria and other unproductive microorganisms. Ultimately, it can get to the point where overgrowth of strep causes SIBO to develop and strep flourishing in pockets of the intestinal tract, creating gas that pushes the intestinal linings outward and contributes to bloating. Someone can live with this for a long time before SIBO actually gets diagnosed, if it ever does, and in any case, strep won't be identified as the cause. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. Doctor does not know that there's toxins in your liver that's leaching into the bile, which is then fucking poisoning the linings of your stomach and also feeding bad bacteria and viruses in your gut. That being the cause of your bloating. That's not a commonly known thing by most. 99% of doctors don't know that, so you're not going to get much help from them, unfortunately. Let's see. He goes into constipation and then gut healing. I think this will. And then there's the truth about irritable bowel syndrome here as well. Uh, oh, you got some aloe vera juice. Damn, I have aloe vera. Thanks for reminding me. I should make some after. Oh yeah, so uh Tamira, if you're still here, not sure if you're still here. Yeah, don't drink apple cider vinegar in the morning with warm lemon water. That's not a healing protocol. That'll actually damage your insides even more. Apple cider vinegar is highly acidic and it damages your stomach lining even further, and it can damage the enamel of your teeth. It also dehydrates your entire body, and it works to pickle your organs. So any vinegar that you eat of any kind, whether it's apple cider or balsamic or whatever kind of vinegar, it pickles your organs. It's a preservative. That's why people use vinegar to preserve vegetables, to suck all the water out of the vegetable. They put it in a jar, right? Like cucumbers. They'll put them in a jar, it'll turn into pickles because it sucks the water out and it preserves it, right? So you don't want to be ingesting any kind of vinegar because it dehydrates you, it preserves toxins inside your body, and it damages your stomach lining and so forth. Okay, makes your body highly acidic, which also allows bad bacteria to thrive. So I know the apple cider vinegar with the lemon water. I know that's a kind of mainstream thing. Medical Medium's very clear in all of his books that that's not good for you, and drinking apple cider vinegar will not contribute to your healing, and actually it'll make you more sick. Um, yeah, and aloe vera juice, I'm not too sure about that, but you can totally just make aloe vera water by just getting a fresh aloe vera leaf and taking some of the gel out and blending it in just a cup of water and drinking that. Medical Medium does recommend that as being very healing. So it's not my take on pork, it's Medical Medium's take on pork. Medical Medium's the most advanced health info on earth for reasons that I've described ad nauseum, because he's the only one who knows what actually causes basically every chronic illness, and actually has protocols that actually heal them, and they're fruit and vegetable based, so they're not medication based. And it works. So if you do it, it works. Um, Medical Medium says pork is a no-no when you're trying to heal and you're trying to be healthy, because the fat in pork takes up to 16 hours to digest in your body. So the fat, when you eat, let's say, a breakfast sausage in the morning, it actually takes 16 hours for that fat to leave your bloodstream. So for 16 hours, your liver has to work to produce bile to digest that pork fat, which is very dense, and it just takes a long time for it to leave your body. So whenever you're trying to heal, he says to stay away from pork. It's a huge troublemaker. It makes it very difficult for your liver to cleanse, and it actually ends up thickening your blood and makes it very difficult for your body to cleanse toxins. Um, yeah, so because pork is so fatty, it overburdens your liver and it forces it to work full time on fat digestion duty when it should be working on toxic waste matter cleansing duty. So pork is not recommended by Medical Medium. It's a troublemaker. Same with lamb, has a similar sort of quality, and tuna as well has a similar sort of quality. Tuna also being really high in mercury and other heavy metals. For meats, Medical Medium says you can totally be healthy and have chicken, organic chicken, and also grass-fed beef. So if you are going to have meat, you stay away. Whoops, stay away from pork. You have chicken and grass-fed beef in the evening, okay, along with some leafy greens on the side, or some bell peppers or some zucchini, something alongside the meat, some kind of vegetable to help it sort of digest. Yeah, so you just got back. So what I said, first of all, is that apple cider vinegar is toxic for your system. It dehydrates you, it pickles your organs, and it breaks down the stomach acid. It damages your stomach acid, and it also damages your enamel of your teeth because it's so acidic.
It's highly dehydrating, which is why when you put a cucumber in a vat of vinegar, it sucks all the water out and it preserves it, okay? It does that same thing for your organs, okay? It sucks all the water out and then it preserves toxins in your body. So drinking apple cider vinegar is not good for you, and ingesting apple cider vinegar in any way is not good for you. It is good. You can use it on your hair. You can use it like on your skin. Like it's okay to use it externally, but not internally. It's not good for you. Yeah, sorry, it's not. Yeah, it is bad. It doesn't matter if you dilute it in a tall glass of water. Medical medium explains that it's bad for the reasons that no, not a small amount. You can't have any. Well, you can do whatever you want, but it's not good for you. Whatever you learned online from whatever you saw on YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever. What's her name? Glucose Goddess or whatever bullshit that you looked at is it's not good for you for the reasons that I just described. I know. Yeah, everyone's saying it's good, just not to use too much. Yeah, because everyone is literally full of shit and they're fucking sheep. They don't know how to actually think. So so again, for all the reasons described, when you put a pickle in a vat of vinegar, it sucks all the water out. Yeah, tuna's a no-no. It's highly fatty and it's also full of heavy metals. Okay, so if you're gonna have fish, it's recommended to have organic wild salmon if possible. Sardines are okay, but trout is okay, right? Tuna is just because it's so fatty and because it's so high in heavy metals, it's considered a troublemaker. So I don't recommend. Medical medium doesn't recommend having tuna, especially not apple cider vinegar. In the morning, if you drink apple cider vinegar, you're fucking yourself in a really bad way. So just have your lemon water. It doesn't have to be warm. Just have just room temperature lemon water. Okay, have a lot of that, and that'll absolutely help your healing and your hydration. The apple cider vinegar is actually going to dehydrate you, and it's going to make you sicker. Yeah, no tuna. Yeah, no, again, so even the omega-3s, see, this is all made up bullshit. So most of the mainstream stuff that you hear from mainstream health sources is made up bullshit. You don't need omega-3s from tuna. That's literally propaganda marketing. It's not how reality even works. The omega-3s, you're basically your body, omega-3s are okay for you. Okay, they're fine, but you don't need to get them specifically from tuna. They're present in many other foods that are like fruits and vegetables. They're actually more present in spinach and more bioavailable in spinach, way more bioavailable in spinach than they are in eggs or in tuna. Plus, when you cook that food in any way, since the omega-3 is so volatile, it's a very fragile kind of fat. The cooking process actually denatures it, so it makes it impossible for your body to use anyways. So yeah, the omega-3 thing, it's total marketing hype and it's complete bullshit. I know it's a mess. Reality, it's a mess. Yeah, so you really don't need omega-3s for PCOS. In fact, the more you think you need omega-3s, your PCOS is going to get worse. I actually helped someone else on this channel with the PCOS. So the reason why the cysts or the what's it called, the growths are growing on your ovaries at all, the reason why is because of Epstein-Barr virus is feeding off of specifically eggs. Okay, so if you're eating eggs specifically, you're actually feeding the Epstein-Barr virus that's actually causing. Yeah, absolutely. Celery juice for PCOS, 100% celery juice. Okay, juicing the celery. Okay, so Tamira, there's great information for you that's present in the medical medium books. So if you get a book like Cleanse to Heal, for example, there's a whole section on PCOS, and there's a whole protocol and that shows you what it's caused by and how to heal it. Okay, yeah, butter for cooking is not good because dairy is a troublemaker that feeds viruses. Just letting you know, Akram. It's all present. I've said that many times. You might be new to the channel. That's fine. I have about 30 hours worth of videos explaining how this stuff works. But here I am, still offering help. So PCOS, let's read a little bit what. So I'm sorry that you have PCOS. That must be very painful, and it's actually very scary, especially if you're wanting to have kids in your life. It's going to be very difficult. So you want to learn what actually causes the PCOS, so that you can learn how to actually heal the PCOS permanently. Okay. So you're lucky that you're here. I think you're here for a reason. I don't think it's a coincidence that you're here on this live stream right now. There's a section on it here. Where is it? Could have sworn there was a section here. So PCOS it's an ovary thing, right? Let me, here it is. Sorry, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So basically there's fluid-filled cysts often caused by one or more of the over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr virus, frequently creating injuries to the cells in the ovaries and sometimes weakening the ovaries overall. Troublemaker foods such as eggs rapidly worsen the condition, and a high-fat/high protein diet impedes the healing process of PCOS. So whatever fucking quack told you that you need omega-3 to heal your PCOS should be sued, because you're actually getting sicker by eating more high omega-3 foods. It's actually feeding the root of the problem. High fat, high protein diets, especially ones that involve eggs, right, and even tuna, that's going to feed the Epstein-Barr virus, which is actually causing the cysts to grow in the first place, which your doctor, which any nutritionist ever online or on Instagram or TikTok, or you can go in any crack of any fucking hole on earth, nobody knows how health actually works, because people aren't studying this specific information. And I'm sorry to be a little bit aggressive with it. I'm trying to help you, okay? I love you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying. Hopefully, I don't turn you off by my what's the word? I'm just really passionate. It makes me sad because on Earth, yeah, fish oil. So again, and insulin, yeah. So total bullshit, complete bullshit information. It's so the fish oil specifically, right? The fish oil specifically that you're taking, I know you're taking your omega-3 pills, right? That's actually full of heavy metals. That's actually feeding the Epstein-Barr virus and actually making it harder for your liver and your immune system to deal with the core of the thing that's causing the fucking the cyst to grow on your ovaries in the first place. Okay, so in order to get rid of that, okay, you need to first of all do a basic medical medium cleanse, a basic cleanse like this 369 cleanse. So it's basic, like morning cleanse. So lemon water first thing in the morning, nothing added to it. There's no apple cider vinegar, which is going to make the problem worse. It's not hot lemon water. It's just normal room temperature lemon water. Okay, 16 ounces of that. Dude, whoever told you to take fish oil and insulin, that's like the equivalent of putting leeches on yourself to like bloodlet you. That's like literally the opposite of what's gonna work. So you would just do a basic medical medium morning cleanse. So lemon water in the morning, you would wait 15 to 30 minutes, and then you'd have celery juice, 16 ounces of that. That's key. The celery juice is actually going to help to kill the Epstein-Barr virus. It literally kills the virus. Okay? Because the celery juice is alkaline, and the mineral salts, there's over 80 varieties of mineral salts in that celery juice. It's actually going to break down the cell wall of the Epstein-Barr virus, which is mononucleosis, which is mono. So if you got mono when you were like 10 years old or when you were younger, that's only stage 2 Epstein-Barr virus. It stays in your body. The mono doesn't go away. It stays in you. And what you have now is stage 3 or 4 Epstein-Barr virus, which is how it actually gets to the ovaries in the first place. Okay, so it starts in the liver, okay? That's stage 1 or 2, but then when it gets into stage 3 or 4, it can move into the thyroid, or it can move into the ovaries as well. It can cause massive reproductive issues. So You do the basic morning cleanse protocol, which you can find in this book, Cleanse to Heal. Okay, Cleanse to Heal by a medical medium. You have your lemon water. Wait 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Celery juice. Wait 15 minutes, wait 30 minutes, and then have your fruit. I recommend the heavy metal detox smoothie. Okay, so that involves wild blueberries, cilantro, Atlantic sea dulse, spirulina powder. Yes, I will make I will make PCOS. You're right. Thank you for letting me know. I think unfortunately, my job on Earth is just to talk about health stuff for until I die. Health and meditation, right? Yeah. So basically, every channel on planet Earth is incorrect with their diet information unless they're literally sourcing it from medical medium, or they're like 50% correct. So they're like a little bit correct, but they're not fully correct because our health information is in the dark ages. So whoever said omega-3 pills are going to heal your PCOS, there are zero results to back that up. There's not a single person on planet Earth who took omega-3 pills and healed their PCOS, because that's not how it works. Actually, the omega-3 pills would make it worse because of the fatty nature and the metals that's in the fish oil. Actually feeds the Epstein-Barr virus. It makes it harder to leave your system. So if you had a heavy metal detox smoothie, which I do have a tutorial for how to make on my channel, which is I just obviously got from Medical Medium, that's going to actually, the wild blueberries, the cilantro, the spirulina, the barley grass juice powder, the Atlantic sea dulse, that's going to bind onto the metals, to the mercury, the lead, the arsenic, the nickel, the aluminum. It's going to bind. All of those can be foods for Epstein-Barr virus. It can actually feed on those toxic metals. These natural foods, wild blueberries specifically, and cilantro, and those other 5 that I mentioned, they're going to bind to those metals and actually going to help them flush out of your body, especially if you have it lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, and you do those 3 things every single morning for 90 days, okay? That alone is going to like make a massive, gigantic, huge, humongous dent in your PCOS, even if you didn't change anything else, okay? So then, if you also stay away from the troublemakers, specifically eggs, okay, specifically eggs, you need to stay away from eggs. If you're eating eggs, your PCOS is getting worse. You're actually adding fuel to the fire, and I bet you've been eating eggs because they're marketed as having high omega-3, even though the second you cook them, the omega-3 denatures. It's so fragile. The second it's cooked, it denatures, and even when it's in your mouth, it denatures the omega-3 in the egg. So that the omega-3 is not even entering your system, but what is entering your system is hormones in the eggs that specifically feed Epstein-Barr virus, which is actually what's causing, there's over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr virus. That's actually what's causing your PCOS, okay, and causing these ovarian cysts to form. So to stay away from the troublemakers, so eggs, dairy, wheat, corn, soy, tuna, pork, canola oil. Okay, those are the big 8 I just listed. Go watch the replay, okay? After the stream's done, I just listed the big 8, okay? Dairy, eggs, corn, soy, wheat, pork, canola oil, and tuna, okay? Stay away from those. If we stay away from those 8, okay? That's good. That's good that you stopped eating eggs. That's very good. That's gonna be a big help. Okay, that's gonna be a big help. It does take a long time for the egg fragments to leave your liver. There's still bits of egg that's in your liver. It gets stored in there. So that's why we drink lemon water and celery juice and the heavy metal detox smoothie, because we need to flush this stuff out of our body, okay? You can still feed Epstein-Barr virus 6 months after you stop eating eggs, because there's still little fragments of there in your liver. But if you're having celery juice and the lemon water in the morning, in the way the morning cleanse says, that proper protocol, yeah, you got it. You got it. Dairy, eggs, corn, and wheat. Don't forget wheat in there, okay? Yeah, no, you got it. Good job. Yeah, if you want your PCOS to go away, definitely pick up this book. It'll just give you step by step the protocol. I also have other videos in detail that explain how to do the morning cleanse. The morning cleanse. Um, yeah. So for snack, after your heavy metal detox smoothie, apples. Lots of apples. You can blend them, make apple sauce. You can add cinnamon. You can add raw honey. You can add a couple dates in there. Okay. You can even have oats. Okay. You can have millet for snack. What else? You can have leafy greens with maple syrup. Yeah, so coffee is not gonna help, but the coffee it's gonna dehydrate your body. It's very dehydrated. The caffeine specifically is really hard on your adrenals. It ends up dehydrating your body and your cells. Um, so the coffee is like it's not gonna help. Okay. It would be, it's not gonna like if I would just, get that lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox, that's going to make the biggest difference, okay? In general, I would cut down on the coffee just because of the caffeine. It does have this sort of dehydrating effect, but we're talking about like getting optimal results, okay? If you're staying away from those 8 troublemakers and you're doing your morning cleanse that involves the heavy metal detox. Oh, okay. So if you do have IBS and oats, they sort of irritate you. Um, maybe stay away from oats, but if you're having gluten-free oats, they shouldn't irritate your IBS too much. Okay. Sometimes I also get a bit of indigestion when I eat oats, even if they're gluten-free, so I can sort of understand that. Um, but sometimes when you do a medical medium protocol, you need to wait 3 to 6 months for your symptoms to sort of balance out. You might get even worse IBS for a month because there's a lot of cleansing and there's a lot of breaking down of old rancid fats that could actually sort of like irritate your system a little bit in the beginning, but as you wait 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, the symptoms that might flare up temporarily will drop off and then they'll go away. That's kind of how I found it. The symptoms can get worse temporarily, but you got to stick with it, and then they go away. 369 lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox. There you go. Yep, the heavy metal detox. Yep. Yeah, good job. Yeah, man, there's plenty of bodybuilders who do medical medium. You actually if you subscribe to the mainstream bodybuilder I'm gonna answer your question in a second. I just want to make sure Tamira is all sort of like, we got a bow tie on there. I just want to finish with her. I'm gonna answer your question in 1 second, okay? Before we launch into the protein discussion and we start destroying entire paradigms and there's like yelling and screaming families like running out of burning buildings, we're just gonna finish with Tamira really quick. Yeah, man, PCOS. I never had no clue. I knew nothing about that extra facial hair thing. I'm sorry about that. I guess it does mess up your hormones a lot, but yeah. So I do have a lot of info on my channel. Okay. There's like Adam Michelli Morning Cleanse or Adam Michelli Intro to Medical Medium. This is an excellent book. Okay, this will be your guidebook. Okay, you might be able to find this in a library. Cleanse to Heal. Sorry if it's like mirrored. It's probably mirrored. Yeah, sorry. Cleanse to Heal. That says. Okay. Um. Okay. I'm way too hydrated, so I'm gonna take a quick pee break. I'll be back in 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna answer the bodybuilder question. And stay tuned because we're gonna destroy some belief systems. 1 second. Right, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. I do have a website. It's called adamichelli.com. I do plan to yeah, I don't even have courses, but just stay tuned. All my info will be more organized and more easily accessible. I You can join my community there. I have a lot of resources in my community that are going to be going up. Hey Tamira, so I just wanted to let you know, like, there's a lot of people out there that are going to give you a lot of information, and I just wanted to make sure that you understand that this is not just like other information. This is like the actual like final boss that actually heals you at the end of trying all this shit that doesn't work. This is the one that actually heals you in the end. Okay, so just wanted to remind you of that and that you can do it. It's a little bit odd to like sort of take on this new eating style, but once you get used to it and you sort of make the change, I promise you your symptoms will reverse and heal within 3 to 6 months, maybe a little longer. But the reason why I can promise you that, even though I'm not a doctor or a medical practitioner or anything like that, is because this is how it actually works. And I've seen it work like this literally hundreds of times. And there's thousands of testimonials and stuff for people who've had PCOS, who've done this protocol and have literally healed and reversed it permanently. Okay. So I can tell you this with 100% certainty that this is how reality works, because it's just what it is. You can test it for yourself. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Give it a shot. I believe in you. I think you can do it. The worst thing you got to lose is that you just ate a bunch of healthy wild blueberries and cilantro and good food. So that's the you don't really got much to lose. Yeah, you're welcome. I really hope you really take what I said to heart. Don't get distracted. Make sure you're doing the info correctly. Make sure you're doing it correctly. It's easy to get distracted or to have some little thing like apple cider vinegar in your lemon water. That'll make a big problem. Okay. So you want to make sure you got the details down packed. They're pretty simple. Okay, lemon water, celery juice, plain. Okay, your smoothie. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but you don't want to get distracted by the fads and the trends with all the additives, adding things. That's where the trouble starts to happen. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're doing it properly. There's good info on my channel and in medical mediums work as well. Okay, to make sure that you're doing it properly. Okay, you can do it. I believe in you. I'm excited for you. You're gonna heal. I'm proud of you. Okay. I appreciate your open-mindedness and your willingness to change your mind as well, because I just sort of completely contradicted a lot of things that you've been told, and I love that you were able to just sort of like take on a new perspective. A lot of people don't do that kind of stuff, so I really respect that. Alrighty then. Whoo! Bodybuilding. Yeah. So you can build muscle on medical medium. So the first thing I want to ask you, Dennis, is why do you want to be a big, huge bodybuilder? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. If you want to do that, that's your authentic goal. Go for it. By all means, please. If you want to be lifting a lot of weights, the thing you want to be thinking about is carb loading with fruit. You want to have you clocked me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but no, I really appreciate your ability to change your mind. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So so in the bodybuilding community, what you're going to see is stupid monkeys doing monkey see, monkey do, slamming protein morning to night. That's all you're going to see. Okay? The stupid monkeys just fucking itching their ass, picking bugs out of their hairy chests, and eating tons of protein because that's all they're taught online, in nutritionist school, in the science. Adam, you don't know about muscle protein synthesis? Bro, come on. What the fuck, bro? You don't know about muscle protein synthesis? Yeah, so the science around bodybuilding is not conclusive in this idea that we need to eat 100 to 200 grams of protein. That is an inflated number. There has been lots of money paid to ensure that that number of 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or whatever it is, that fucking made up number, that is inflated to literally sell meat, egg, and dairy products. Okay, so there's lots of stingy, corrupted hands going into the medical information space. When you're learning about nutrition, you're learning about bodybuilding, right? This is literally one of the main sources of income for meat industries, dairy industries, and egg industries. Their entire business model actually hinges on the fact that most people believe without the shred of a doubt that in order to gain muscle, you need to be slamming eggs, milk, butter, meat, for breakfast, as much as possible, whey protein, right? People are 100% convinced that you need way more protein in order to build muscle. But not many people have actually tried building muscle without increasing protein intake. It's funny, like, have you ever tried that? This is so interesting because if you ask 99% of bodybuilders, they've never even like wrapped their mind around the possibility that what if I don't even need that much protein and I could still build muscle? What if, is that even like physically possible? I'm losing viewers a little bit here. People don't like to hear this one. Is that even physically possible to gain muscle without slamming protein day and night? Yes, it is. And I've actually spoken about this in another video. It's called The Truth About Protein, and I made a whole other live stream about it. So I can keep repeating myself, but it gets a little tiring, to be honest. So The Truth About Protein, there it is. There's a medical medium video called The Truth About Protein. Watch that. And there's an Adam Michelli video called The Truth About Protein. Watch that, okay? We explain how it works. I think we'll try standing up. Is that a real thing? Can I do that? Oh, that's going to be a mess. Okay. Let's see if I can stand up here. All right. We're gonna set it up here. Totally stand up. Yeah, I'll keep explaining the protein thing, but I just gotta stand up a bit. Just shifting the gotta shift the energy a little bit. It can't get too stuck. Welcome. Yeah. So try building muscle. Well, here's my microphone. You're gonna hear a bit of an echo. Probably have been already. It's all good. Maybe I can hold this thing. Yeah, try building muscle. Yeah. The truth about protein. That video I was talking specifically about weight loss. Yeah, okay. We're getting there. High protein intake in the morning. Yeah, so high protein intake in the morning is specifically going to make your symptoms worse if you have PCOS. All right. The thing you should do in the morning instead is the morning cleanse protocol. So I just wanted to make it clear to you guys that there's a lot of information on the internet. if you ever hear high protein will make you healthy, that is automatically incorrect information because that's not actually how reality works. That information has been paid for because high protein means that people go to the store to buy eggs, dairy, and meat, which, by the way, are massive industries. Okay, so we have billions of dollars on the line, billions of dollars on the line to make sure that the masses, the majority of the population, is convinced that eating more protein will make them stronger, healthier, and less prone to disease. Okay, unfortunately, that's not how reality works because when you eat all of this high protein, what you are also doing unknowingly is you're eating tons of fat, extra fat that you don't need to be eating. You don't need to be eating extra fat in your eggs, in your chicken, in your beef, in your pork, in your protein powder, etc. Okay? So when you're eating extra fat, what this does is it clogs and it overburdens your liver. You think that you're having high protein, so that means you're healthy, right? Because protein makes you strong and healthy, right? Protein is like God in our culture. It's actually a little bit weird. Okay, so this is something you need to really contemplate. Why has protein been elevated to the status of God, where literally every single person thinks that the more protein they eat, the better it is, the more healthy they are? Is that how reality works? You need to be a little bit skeptical there. A little bit skeptical. Why would reality even work? Is that how simplistic health is? That the only number you need to be thinking about is the grams of protein in your food, and all of a sudden that's what's going to make you strong and healthy? Isn't that a little fishy? That everyone believes that when you go to your neighbor's house, they'll probably tell you the same thing. Your cousins and your friends and family, they're just all 100% convinced that protein is like the only thing you need to think about when it comes to becoming more healthy. Isn't that a little weird? Just think about that for a second. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's actually massive industry incentive. There's been a lot of money that has gone into actually intentionally shaping the nutritional curriculum, literally in universities, to the point where these meat, egg, and dairy industries, you need to understand, they have literally hundreds of billions of dollars to spend on science studies, research campaigns, marketing campaigns, paying laboratories to actually get studies published in medical journals that actually promote the role that protein plays in muscle building so that they can sell supplements, meat, eggs, and dairy, etc. Okay, so this protein thing, it goes way back, way back, actually to the 1930s. Back in the 1930s, we were in what's called the Great Depression, okay? Our economy was doing horribly, okay? In order to jumpstart the economy, to get people to start buying more food, specifically the main industries were meat, dairy, and eggs, which is what the government actually partnered with these industries to promote the health benefits of meat, dairy, and eggs to the masses so that people would actually go out to buy more of these foods. They would say things like, eating eggs fights disease. More protein makes you strong. Because again, back in the Great Depression in the 1930s, people were literally weak and sickly because they couldn't afford food. So they were like skinny. You know what I mean? And what everyone wanted back in the 1930s was to be big and strong and to be, full of muscle and full of food. It fills your stomach, etc. So in order to jumpstart the economy, to get people spending more money so that we could actually progress into the future, the government partnered with meat, egg, and dairy industries and actually signed contracts to get the information about high protein and the benefits of meat, and all of these fake studies. Like there's this study that meat is the only complete protein, that animal products are the only way to get a complete protein, whereas vegetables or spinach or nuts, that's an incomplete protein. Okay, so you need a complete protein. The only complete protein that exists is in animal products. Okay, this is actually something you can Google right now. You can read this on a Healthline journal or a Mayo Clinic, or like these like medical, they're just supported by science, right? A science-based medical journal you can actually find online. They'll literally tell you that the only way to get a complete protein is by eating animal products. And if you eat vegetables or nuts or peas or whatever it is to get your protein, that's an incomplete protein. Okay? So, first of all, that's not how reality works. That is clearly bought science. That's not real. Okay? There are human beings on planet Earth who have been vegetarian or vegan their entire lives. Okay? And they're 100 years old and they're doing fine. They're not missing protein. Okay? Our ancestors, okay, back when we had fucking tails, okay, if you need to understand anthropology and evolutionary biology, human beings were monkeys, right? A long time ago. We were firstly evolved to eat fruits and vegetables and leafy greens and roots of plants and stuff first. Okay, that was the first thing we were eating, fruits and vegetables. Afterwards, we later evolved to be able to eat meat and eggs, and even later to be able to drink dairy. And most humans still aren't really able to drink dairy because you're not really designed to be eating those foods. So if you hear shit like, oh, you need to drink milk in order to build muscle, or you need to eat more meat to build muscle, or you need to eat more eggs to build muscle, this, you can know for sure, this is propaganda. This isn't real. And even if it's based in science, because Adam, but it's based in science, Adam. You don't know about muscle protein synthesis. Adam, come on, I learned in school. I went to kinesiology class in university for 5 years. You don't know about muscle protein synthesis, Adam, come on, right? What I'm literally telling you is that the actual university curriculum is warped around business interests. Okay, so what you're calling science and you just believe is science is not necessarily science. I personally, through independent research and investigation, I didn't even have to look that deep. I personally found studies that were talking about the role that protein plays in building muscle and how supplementing protein actually increases muscle growth against the control group. I found this study that was literally funded by a website, or it was like an organization that was actually partnered with another organization that actually sold protein supplements. So this study that I found was actually published in a medical journal, and I literally know for a fact that there's university students that are using this study to like write papers with. Okay, and to like cite in their essays. They're citing these studies. They're not looking into the sources. Who funded this study? Clicking, then you have to go scroll down to the bottom of the website. You got to click in the footer. You got to go to the investor relations. You got to click on that. You got to look at the names of the companies. You got to Google them, and you got to see that they're actually affiliated with protein supplement companies or dairy companies or meat companies are affiliated with funding these protein studies. Now, not all of them, not every single one of them, but a good chunk of them, you can actually find affiliations. Okay? So very, 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 very little actual research has gone into actually checking and testing whether a human can gain muscle without eating that much protein, with eating like 10 grams or 20 grams and getting most of their calorie intake from fruits and vegetables like potatoes, apples, dates, watermelon, spinach, cabbage. apricots, cherries, and so forth. Okay, so there has not been a study. I already said this in my The Truth About Protein episode. There has not been a scientific study that I found, because this study doesn't exist. There's no money in this study. There's no money involved. Nobody can make money off of this study. Okay, it's all about the big dollar in the medical system in the year 2025. It's a spiral dynamic stage orange system. Okay, what does that mean? That means that business and science are in bed with each other. They're buddies. They fuel each other. Science is funded by business interests. You know how expensive it is to run a study, a health study? That costs $30 million. Where's the money coming from? There has to be a profit incentive. Do you understand? So what I'm saying is there's no profit incentive to run a study that actually shows that you actually don't need that much protein in order to build muscle. Because that study, if let's say hypothetically, if that study was actually published and say, oh, we've actually proved conclusively with like good sample sizes, with good control groups, there's like, good spread of different ages and genders and so forth, okay, different levels of activity, different body mass index. If we actually did a proper study that had the calories capped at 3,000, okay, calories are the same. One group is eating a bunch of eggs and chicken and dairy. The other group is eating a bunch of apples, bananas, broccoli, potatoes, watermelon, etc., plants. Okay, this group is eating animal products, maybe some plants on the side, and they were both doing the same amount of exercise, the same exercises at the gym, and they measured the muscle growth over 6 months or so forth. You would see if we each had a sample size of 1,000 and then a control group, okay? If this study was ever done, you would see that the plant-based group and the animal-based group make pretty much the same gains, exactly the same gains, no difference. One group, the animal-based group, is getting like 100 grams of protein. The plant group is getting like 20 grams of protein. It's not a big difference, okay? It's a big difference of protein, but their muscle mass that they would gain would be pretty much the same. If anything, the fruits and vegetables group would actually gain more muscle because their bodily system would run more efficiently. All right, so that study that I just proposed, that would actually be a great study. Like if I was genuinely interested in the role that protein played in muscle growth, that would be the first study that I would run if I cared about the truth. Like imagine our medical and our health system actually cared about the truth and didn't care about business interests, okay? So imagine we actually cared about actually understanding the truth of how humans actually build muscle. We didn't care about making money. We didn't care about selling products. We just wanted to know how reality works just for its own sake, okay? If that was my interest, I would run that study. It would cost me 20 million or 30 million. Maybe we'll have to do like a Kickstarter or something like that so we can run this study ourselves. I'll have to fucking organize it myself, okay? But if I actually cared about the truth, that's the first study that I would run. Dark chocolate's not really the best, not super healthy because of the high caffeine and the high fat. It's not the healthiest thing. Not really recommended for healing. But what? Adam, dark chocolate, that's like, everyone says that dark chocolate's like the main thing you should eat if you want to be healthy, right? All the healthy moms, drinking their wine and their dark chocolate, it's so good for you, right? Actually, not really. The caffeine is not good for your adrenals. And the fat content clogs your liver, so there's not really much there beneficial in chocolate. You can have a little bit, but it's not recommended. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, so if I actually cared about the truth about protein, whether it builds muscle or not, the first thing I would run is this kind of study where there's a huge group of vegetable eaters, a huge group of meat eaters. Maybe the meat eaters could even eat vegetables too, okay? But the meat eaters get like 100 grams of protein. They drink whey protein and so forth. The other group has the same calories, the vegetable group and the meat group, they get the same calories, 3,000. They're doing the same exercises, but we're just measuring muscle. The only difference is the diet, okay? One's getting less protein, one's getting more protein, okay? The fruit and vegetable group's getting way more phytochemicals, way more clean carbohydrates, way more antioxidants, way more mineral salts from leafy greens and so forth, okay? You would see that they actually gain the same muscle. And the problem is, if this study ever came out, this is the problem. If this study that I just suggested, if that ever came out, that it was actually like a good quality study, that like actually basically showed that the vegetable eaters and the meat eaters made the same fucking gains. The vegetable eaters were having 10 grams of protein a day. The meat eaters were having 120 grams of protein a day, and they're making the same fucking gains, okay? If that study ever came out, what would happen? What would happen if that study came out and was publicized? It was on the news. It was marketed. It was on people's feeds. It became a popular thing. Turns out vegetables actually make you the same fucking gains that meat does, and you don't even need to think about your protein intake at all, according to this well-done study. If that study ever came out, it's never been done, okay? The reason why it's never been done is because if that study was ever done, there would be massive losses for the pockets of meat, egg, and dairy industries. You got to understand that one of the main forces that drives the entire fucking economy in the health space is people literally going to the store to buy more meat, dairy, and eggs because they think it's going to make them big and strong and healthy. Okay? So medical medium says you can have some meat like in your diet. If you want to have a medical medium diet, you can have organic chicken, you can have grass-fed beef in the evening, a reasonable portion with leafy greens and zucchini and peppers on the side and stuff to help it sort of digest. So I'm not against meat. I'm not against these. It's not a moralistic thing. I don't care about the morals of it. Okay, I'm talking about that this science study has never been done because of corruption in the health field, one of the most corrupted fields. So 99% of the information you're learning about mainstream health is literally coming out of people's asses. It's coming out of their asses. That's where you're looking at, because trust me, I've been doing this diet stuff for 10 years. Okay, so I've been changing my diet. I've been experimenting with different diets. Dude, you know how much fucking dark chocolate I've eaten in my life? How much sardines I've eaten, how much eggs. I used to eat like 6 eggs a day. I used to bodybuild. I used to do the wrestling team and the rugby team. And I used to go to the gym twice a day. I was at the gym like 8 times a week, lifting weights. So I know about, the mainstream way to build muscle. I was crushing cans of sardines for breakfast with whey protein and frying sardines in butter. Okay, so I've done the high fat, the high protein thing. Okay. Doesn't work. Okay, because here's the problem. No one's actually tested the alternative. Everyone when you start going to the gym and building muscle, you start with high protein because it's like an unspoken code. The second you step foot into a gym, everyone's basically subconsciously telling you to start crushing whey protein and eggs and chicken and rice. That's just like the bro code. That's like, it's an unspoken code. No one questions the alternative. Turns out the alternative is way healthier and it contributes to better muscle gaining. All right. So we might change subjects. Okay. So I slayed that one. Good job, Adam. Thank you. Good job. We'll change subjects, okay? Maybe I'll sit down again. Who knows? Chairs here. There we go. Clocked. Yeah, I know. The whole protein thing is completely made up. And yo, nutritionists will get mad at me. They'll be like, Adam, you never went to nutrition school. I'm like, dude, your fucking nutrition school is literally partnered with business interests. That's why your doctor, when you go to your doctor, he doesn't know what's fucking wrong with you. He gives you a pill. Your doctor wasn't trained in healing people using food. He was trained in healing people using pills because that's where the money is. There's no money in celery. No one makes money on celery juice. It's a commodity. It's a farm item. You can grow celery in your fucking backyard. Do you understand? The medicine, imagine you could grow the medicine in your backyard. Imagine if people knew that you can grow medicine in your backyard for free. Maybe you got to pay for the soil and the seeds. Okay? If humans on Earth were in on the fact that herbs like celery, like oregano, like parsley, like sage, like thyme, actually killed viruses in your body. They actually made you healthy. Imagine people were in on that, you know? What if people knew that they can eat potatoes and build muscle? They don't need to have cows and chickens. And they don't need to buy dairy and eggs. What if you could just get strong off of the food that grows in your backyard? You don't need to own a cow. If humans knew that they could be big and strong and healthy and clean and awake and vibrant and intelligent and all so forth, just without high protein, the whole system would collapse. The whole system is built on protein. That's like the keystone. If you take out that keystone, the whole thing crumbles. Because it's like, wait a second, what if we don't actually need high protein? What if we just need more fruits and more vegetables? More of them, like a lot more. Like a giant watermelon for breakfast. 10 bananas. 20 dates. Bunch of potatoes. What would happen is your calorie needs would be met by fruits and vegetables. So there's belief systems that are implanted in the space, the health space, where you're specifically supposed to be afraid of sugar, which comes from fruit, and you're supposed to be into protein, and which comes from animals, or you know, you're supposed to be into protein and scared of sugar. Because what would happen if humans knew that they could just eat as much sugar from fruit as they want? You can have as many dates as you want, as many figs, as many bananas as you want, as many watermelons as you want. There's no detriment to your health. No, it will not spike your insulin unless you have it alongside ribs, right? The only time insulin spikes is when sugar is mixed with fat. For reasons that's spoken about in medical medium. If humans knew that you can meet your calorie intake and build muscle and be strong and be healthy and be smart just by eating a lot of fruit and a lot of vegetables, a lot of leafy greens, the whole economy around meat and eggs and dairy would implode. The sales would tank. People would be growing food in their fucking backyard and being healthy. That's what's supposed to be happening. But instead, we're on the fucking wheel of I need more meat every day, 5 times a day. I need more chicken. More eggs, because I can't be strong without eggs, Adam. Eggs make me strong. No one actually stopped to question, is that how reality works? If you show them one science study, most people, if you show them one science study, that's all they need to just believe whatever the fuck is being said. One study. No one's asking, is that a good study? Is it a conclusive study? What are the investor relations? Is there corrupting force? Are there biasing factors in this study? Most people aren't sophisticated enough thinkers to even be able to pick apart a science study to see if it's a good science study, a conclusive study. Especially if you're in school, you need to understand, if you're in school and you're studying to be a nutritionist, you are actually not allowed to question the integrity of the studies, because then you might fail your test. You fail your exam if you're overly questioning the textbooks. Hey, prof, what it says in the textbook here is completely incorrect according to medical medium information. That doesn't fly in a fucking university. So it's actually an indoctrination camp. You have to memorize the textbook. The textbook has to be true to you, because otherwise you would fail your exam if you don't believe in the textbook. You would your whole survival agenda. You wouldn't make money. Your family would be disappointed in you and shit. You gotta understand. You literally paid 20 grand to learn this information. You're gonna fucking hope this information is true. You're not gonna question, hey prof, the info in this textbook about protein synthesis, it seems a little bit fishy. Can you show me some studies that shows that this protein, can we actually all together as a class go into this protein synthesis thing and actually break it apart and see where it came from and test it? Maybe we can run an experiment together to actually break this whole thing apart. Your prof's gonna be like, hey Adam, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. I'm trying to teach my lesson here. And if you don't like what we're learning, then you can just fail your class or you can drop out or whatever, okay? Because it's university, you learn what we teach you. Okay, we don't, none of this autonomous thinking, okay? So people, nutritionists, they're just like, oh, nutritionists, they're supposed to be authorities, right? No, they literally just memorized what they were forced to learn because they had no choice. They were literally backed into a corner. And they say, oh, it was the science. The science told me. Hands in the air, the science. Dude, if the science was so effective, why is basically any chronic illness, eczema, psoriasis, PCOS, ADD, autism, fibromyalgia, hemorrhoids, many thyroid problems, heart palpitations, indigestion, skin problems, acne, why is basically none of this understood? Cancer, Alzheimer's, none of this is understood by your doctor. Go to your doctor with any of these conditions and ask him, why do I have ADD? Why? Where did it come from? What sourced it? What's the source? He's going to give you a made up answer. Oh, it's your genetics. That's a made up answer. If you ever hear genetics, it's made up. That's not how reality works. Genes express based on environmental factors. They're not set in stone. Your gene expression changes based on how many heavy metals you have in your body, what kind of viruses you have in your body, the environment that you're in. Gene expression changes based on environment. Okay, if a fish is swimming in a polluted river and the fish is born with two heads, the doctor would say, oh, that's its genetics. It's a genetic defect. That fish just accidentally was born with two heads. No, look at its environment. It's swimming in dirty water. There's radioactive poison in the water. Gene expression is determined by environmental factors, okay? So if your doctor doesn't know what causes your fucking illnesses, I know this. I've gone to the doctor with severe allergies, severe eczema, okay? Hey doc, why do I have eczema? Why? Can you tell me why I have eczema? Because it's kind of horrible, and I would hope you would know why. you'd get an answer along the lines like, well, the research isn't conclusive, but like, here's this cream, and that'll be $90 a month for the rest of your life. All right, I gotta pee again. I'll be back soon. 30 seconds. Holy smokes, it's hot today. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna do the the look down shot. There you go. All right, I'm gonna answer a little bit of questions. Yeah, you guys are all correct here. Hey, that's my boy Sanjeev. Hey Sanjeev, what's going on, bud? What what do you yeah. Yeah, so that's the health thing, okay? Whew. It's a mess out there, man. 99% of people, when they give you health information, it's literally coming out of their asshole. It comes out of their asshole. That's where their information comes from. Your cousin, your friend, who's a nutritionist, right? It comes out of their ass. They're not independent thinkers. If you have a chronic illness, they won't know how to heal you. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. The only source that will actually consistently, repeatedly, with thousands of case studies, tens of thousands of case studies, will actually consistently, repeatedly heal a chronic illness is the medical medium information. Okay? Everything else is wishy-washy. It's airy-fairy. There's literally people reversing every fucking day, reversing thyroid problems that they've struggled with for 20 years. Yeah. And anyways, you guys, you get my point. You can finish that one to the end. Yeah, it's not really about detoxing from processed sugars. The thing that you're really detoxing is viruses, bacteria, heavy metals, okay? Chemicals like fragrances, like your shampoo, the perfume that you spray or that you wear, the deodorant, the scented candles, the scented air fresheners and stuff. This stuff, and then there's all sorts of petrochemicals, exhaust from cars, from jets. There's just garbage chemicals in the atmosphere in your neighborhood. Okay, you breathe in paint thinner and gasoline and all this kind of stuff. That's really what you're detoxing. Okay, so you're not really detoxing processed sugars. The main thing you're detoxing is rancid fats. Okay, hardened fats that are very difficult to get out of the body. Okay, from pork, from too much eggs and dairy and stuff, and eggs and stuff. That's what you're detoxing. The metals are very difficult to get out of the body if you're not doing a heavy metal detox protocol from medical medium. And the petrochemicals and the fragrances and stuff, that's what's so hard to get out of your body. To detox that stuff can take up to a year, even longer, can take up to 3 years. But you can still make amazing progress and you can still heal and reverse symptoms within 3 to 6 months. All right. But it to completely detox like metals from your system, that's going to take about 3 years of a daily heavy metal detox smoothie. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like just because someone has a certification, you got to ask who certified the institution who is certifying them. Are they certified? Who? So that's the whole problem with authority. Who says who's right? Who says I'm right? Who says medical medium is right? From your perspective, you don't really know until you check and test and think. You got to think. It's really hot today, guys. Sorry about not getting to every question. Doing my best. Let me see here. Can you suggest something against procrastination? I have my business plan. I know what I should do, but I find energy to do it. I don't find energy to do it. I think that there's no free will. Yeah, man, I struggle with that too. A lot of times when you're procrastinating, there's a deeper reason there's something that's not in alignment within yourself. So, dude, trust me, I've had hundreds of business plans that never came to fruition because part of me didn't even want to do them. So, what I've found in my life is the things that are aligned for you are very easy. They don't require you to force yourself to do them. You're not going to procrastinate on the stuff that is meant for you, if you kind of if you know what I mean. If it's like if it's truly aligned for you, there's nothing to procrastinate on. Procrastination is deep. It's a deep thing, very deep. It requires awareness. Awareness. This is why meditation is so important. Sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. What procrastination means is that I think I should be working, but I don't want to. So you gotta really, it's a deep thing. It's very deep. You're unconscious in many ways. So unconscious. It's so deep. It's scary, dude. It's not easy. Wish I could talk to you in person. I could ask you more specific questions. Speaking of which, I think we're gonna be doing live calls since my business model doesn't exist anymore and everything is given away for free. We're gonna be doing live calls. I was gonna do like Sundays around this time, so like tomorrow. Uh, it's gonna be in my community, in my school community. It's gonna be like a Zoom call where you can come, we can hang out, we can talk. I can see your face. We can go back and forth, ask questions, and so forth. And we can meditate together as well. So if you're interested in that, you can find my community. It's on my website. Um, we'll show you here. Um, One second. Something's going on here. So if you go to adammichelli.com, you can click on community here. There's a whole section community. Um, and that'll take you to my free community that you can join. Okay. And then in there is where a lot of the live discussions will happen. So if you're interested in that, come join. I like seeing your faces. I like talking with you and going deeper. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to go deeper with you guys. All right. Oof. So I think that's all for today. I'm getting really hot and sweaty. So thanks for coming, everyone. I appreciate your presence. Um, we just sort of yelled about medical medium the whole time, as usual. So you're welcome. Be healthy, right? Eat healthy food. You can build muscle and so forth without that much protein. You gotta watch my episode, the truth about protein. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out the whole time, dude. You're the first one here. Thanks for coming. Sometimes when I'm on live stream and there's no one here, it's a little awkward. So I appreciate your presence. Um, yeah, thanks for listening. Honestly, I really appreciate your presence as well because when I'm talking, it's easier to have someone to interact with, right? So the fact that you're asking questions, you're involved, and you're actually listening to what I'm saying, I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Good luck with your healing, Tamira, sorry. Um, yeah, good luck with your process. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the Zoom call that's gonna happen probably tomorrow around this time. So if you're free, you can drop in, hang out. I see your face, and we'll have an actual sort of more personal discussion. And yeah, you can go join at my website, adammichelli.com. There's free resources for you and stuff there, book list and so forth. And stay tuned. So excited. Thanks everyone. Bye. Love you so much. Bye.